This is a really interesting time to be alive. And I give kudos to you because you chose to be here, believe it or not. We'll talk about that a bit. But you actually chose to be here. You actually even chose your parents. When I tell you it took me like 40 years to accept that piece, that I chose my parents, but you do that. You choose your path, your destiny, your parents, and you come here for a particular reason. And not everybody's going to be wealthy. That's not necessarily the reason everybody comes. You come to learn something. Wealth may be a part of that. It may not be a part of that. Because there's a lot of really substantial things that you can learn without having wealth. So depending on the region of the continent you were born, you're given a name. In this country, it wasn't until the 80s did young black girls start resisting names like Betty Ann and Sarah. But they didn't have any names that meant anything that dealt with their destiny to go back to. Like, I actually have a colleague at Kennesaw State University who's from Zimbabwe. And she and I were having this conversation one day, and she was like, you know what? After, we have been colonized, but now we're going back to our African names. But folks here had that disconnect. They didn't have the names to go back to, so they started making up stuff. Shaquana, LaMarcus, right? And what they didn't realize is they were really being channeled, right? They were being channeled, and it was really just a sense of resistance. That's all it was. Here's the thing about resistance. Resistance is great, but it is a stage in the healing process. And at some point when you're healed, is a lot less that you have to resist. It just is. When I got to Africa, what was so interesting is that all of the security guards, wherever we went, like at the airport, because of course there's going to be security and police and everything there. And if we went to a festival or whatever, you'll see police or security. Everybody had these big old guns, like these, like I should be in a guerrilla war kind of gun. So I asked my driver, I said, what's the deal with all these big guns? Here's what he said, and this is how it landed on me. So what he said was probably very simple to him, but it was very heavy to me. He said, look, the African spirit is so big that a small gun wouldn't do anything to intimidate them. The ones who went to Haiti, the ones who went to the Dominican, the ones who went to Jamaica, Cuba, Brazil, all of South America, right? Our experiences are common in some aspects, but one thing about us, when we got here, we had to dim our spirit. When black folks don't dim, we die. Because when we don't dim, white folks get real scared. When white folks get scared, we die. So when Haitian comes in the room and they're like, we're like, oh my God, why did something happen? Because they're reminding us that we're black too. And we don't want them representing us because we got to dim. But why won't they dim? Because they didn't know to dim. Wasn't no white folks where I was in Africa. They didn't know to dim. But that's who you are on the inside. What I know today is that the only way to break that trauma is through healing with the help of the ancestors. Some of them still jacked up on the other side because of how they lived and died. And they look for us to help heal them. Once we heal them and they're elevated, they can help us. It's a cycle.